It's been a while since I last played Zenith VR, but now that PSVR2 is released, I figured it's time to jump back in. Since Zenith is an MMORPG, I took some friends with me. Once I logged in, I realized that I was the lowest level of my friends again. So today's goal is to level up Jasmine.
Yes! Yeah!
Now, I do want to defend myself here. My character is a Blade Master, so there's a lot of hacking and slashing in order to level up in VR. That can be really exhausting. We decided that maybe doing some of my quests might be the best way to help me level. I was going to open my quest log, but then I realized that there's literally so many new features in Zenith. There's now creature catching, summoning pets, agent ranks, board games, superpowers. One of the first quests we picked up for me was the creature catching. Now, if you haven't been in Zenith since last year, you probably also didn't realize that you can now catch creatures in Zenith. I have to tell you, this game looks so much better in PSVR2, and the vibrancy of the colors really shone in town. There were all these new blue signs for some company called Cusa Technologies, and I'm gonna call it right now. There is going to be some storyline involving Cusa Technologies, and they're going to be a bad corporation. Just like look at the way the signs are plastered everywhere, I already know it. So at the store, Betty told me I needed at least 50 creature catching balls to start, which is pretty much all the money I have in the game because I am a low level noob. So I spent all my money on these things. And then as I was leaving the store, something caught my eye. Brim, you know Brim, right? He's the chef guy that's right next to the store in town. Anyway, he was looking at me really intensely, like really intensely. So I pointed it out to Betty, and she said that he was staring very intensely. I started walking around him in circles, and she started walking around him in circles, and then we realized that he stares at the player that's near him. It's like the Mona Lisa. If you're near him, he'll just keep staring at you no matter where you walk. Did you ever notice that? Anyway, I guess his staring worked because I ended up doing one of his quests. I baked some cookies. And honestly, the cooking system in Zenith is still one of my favorites. I mean, you have to toggle your station, and then you like pull out the little energy thing, and you start putting the milk in the pot and cooking it and putting it into the thing and then flipping the flour on the pan, and the whole thing is just so good. I just feel like this kind of mechanics is really what VR is for. Okay, so back to leveling and doing quests. Now, the creature catching thing in Zenith definitely takes inspiration from Pokemon, and it's interesting the way it works. So the more accurately you throw the ball at the creature from a further away distance, the easier it is to catch the Pokemon. Otherwise, they get out, then you have like a 1-minute timer to try and catch them again before they disappear. So I think this mechanism was really cool, really interesting. Honestly, we spent so much time just running around catching creatures. There was like little worms and cats and triangle thing. Yeah, we were catching pets for at least 30 minutes, but it's been almost an hour and I have still not gotten any closer to leveling. So now it's time to get serious. We need to go and kill monsters. So I gathered the team and I told them we must go to the higher level town so that I can level up ASAP. Now my strategy was very simple. I'm going to run in, get a few slashes with my sword, then run away and let Betty and Eric use their magic attacks from far away so that I don't die. Again, Blade Master issues. Now, even though I was super careful, I still almost died a few times. I mean, it's pretty scary to have all these big tree monsters right in front of your face while you slash them. Now, since I'd spent all my money on the balls, I only had those cookies that I cooked while I was with Brim to heal me back up. Betty, who's level 36, had this brilliant idea to try and feed me some of her noodles. I was pretty skeptical of this. I mean, there's no like item trading or anything in Zenith, so the probability of this working isn't very high. So she tried to feed me her noodles and I couldn't really tell if it was working or not because she was like, okay, here, let me try to feed you some more noodles. And after a couple of times, I realized that it was actually working. So you can feed other people or other players in Zenith to revive their health. Isn't that wild? Now, once we found this out, obviously we had to have Eric try it. He needed to be fed noodles too. So we purposely had him get hit by a monster to lower his level, just so that Betty can also feed him her noodles. Thank you, Betty, for your noodles. So now we were back to killing monsters and trying to level me up. And while we were killing monsters, I accidentally clicked a button that made me dash. And now once I discovered this superpower, it was game over. Literally, I love thief characters, dashing characters, and now they have this in Zenith. I didn't even know they had superpowers in Zenith. So I was dashing through monsters left and right. Betty was just like, now I just see Jasmine dashing everywhere now that she found out her superpower. Yeah, this was super cool. Eventually, after adventuring for almost 2 hours, I finally leveled up to level 12. Oh my gosh, it took so long. And I think the reason why it was so hard to level up from 11 to 12, it wasn't even that high of a level, but I think the hardest part of it was staying focused. Literally, there was just so many new things. Everything was so distracting in Zenith. Like, you could cook, or you can go and catch pets, or you can go and explore, and yeah, there was just so much to do. Overall, I think if you have PlayStation VR2, I would consider picking up Zenith. I mean, it's really nice to have a multiplayer game that I can play with my friends that's not a shooter. So that's it for me. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye!